This episode pretty much just reinforces that it's not a matter of if a character will die, it's a matter of when a character will die that are a part of the 86. And it's a pretty hard pill to swallow, but it's a pretty realistic one. I think at this point, it wouldn't be shocking to me if literally every single character that we've come to know and love ends up dead. Hell, even including Lena herself. I mean, with how she's definitely overstepping in what's seen as a pretty disgusting viewpoint in the eyes of literally everyone in this republic. I mean, it's gonna be brutal, for sure. And I think when we get the second core in fall, it's probably going to be even more so. But I think what this episode really reinforces is that while it seems hopeless, while it seems like there is no end in sight, every character has a goal. They have something that's worth fighting for them. In the case of Shin, it's a pretty sad goal. It's simply he wants to find his brother's head, and until he can put him out of his misery, he feels like he'll never be forgiven by his brother for seemingly the guilt that weighs on him. The fact that apparently mom and dad are dead because of me, the brother strangling, did that actually happen? Is it a figment of his imagination? Like, there's a lot of uncertainty, but the fact that the reason he sticks by isn't because he thinks they'll win, isn't because of some grand vision, it's simply because his brother's head's out there and it still talks to him every so often. And to be reminded of that, especially seen by how guilty he feels, even though it's probably not as crystal clear as he's making it out to be, I mean, it's pretty tormenting, right? To have an episode where two characters end up dead, I think they have 16 left if I'm not mistaken. I forget the exact number, but it's in that area. I mean, having one go out is a pretty big casualty because literally they're underfunded, they're underdeveloped, and the fact that they're sending them on a mission to destroy an up-and-coming Legion base, which is clearly a trap, but it's probably more dangerous to leave it there anyway, even if it is a trap, and they're not even getting replacement 86, right? There is so much disgusting behavior, and this episode really hits home that Lena is stuck. She can't do anything. She firmly believes they are people, and the amazing ideas she comes up with, like the idea of using the mortars as a way to give support fire, no, we can't do it because it'll put us in danger, and the will of the people is that there's no casualties. To them, 86 aren't human, so what can she do? Can run on the battlefield herself? She won't be able to do anything. We literally saw in this episode a handgun does nothing to the Legion. It's not like they're bots that are literally made of paper mache by the looks of it, so the best thing she can do is give them the knowledge she has as she pretty much is suffering. And it's very interesting because they kick the episode off, obviously with the whole brother flashback situation, but also with seeing the little party they had when a lot of them got together and the fact that there was no legions, everything was happy, there was the flirting. Of course you knew someone was going to die. There's no way you show us a party like that and not have someone end up dead and die in them. It makes total sense for them to be the casualties, right? But it still hits hard. But the idea that they were actually talking about this, pig princess, which obviously we know comes to be Lena. The fact that they were making these jabs and jokes about what type of person she'll be. She's probably too fat and ugly, so she has to get a job because no one will marry her. All these things. And the one line that kind of gets thrown, like maybe she thinks she'll be the saving grace for them. It's interesting because it's kind of, even though she's not the saving grace for them, I think it's so interesting to see their opinion on as people because they are the same hair color, same eye color. They are these purebred royalties, and they're all scumbag to us. But it's interesting to see how they have opened up to Lena over the episodes, and it's so heartbreaking to see a character like her and to see them in particular, because for them, they know everyone's going to end up dead. It's unfortunate. You just probably are hoping it's not going to be the one closest to you. And it's a pretty hard thing to admit to, but that's probably how they feel, right? At least it's not my best friend. At least it's not my love interest. And when it does hit you, it hits you extra hard, but you still try to put on that face. This is a show that's not afraid to be brutal without making it simply feel like shock value. Like, the two characters who ended up dead in this situation, I didn't feel like it was a shocking death in the way of like, oh, we really are starting to get to know them, we're really trying to make you like them. It was simply a matter of this battle and these battles that are happening are getting more dangerous because the legions are more advanced. They're recognizing that you're predicting our movements, so we're just going to destroy all your cover. It felt like rather than just being like, oh my god, I didn't see that death coming, it felt like more of, they really are screwed. And I think that's what makes the author of 86 so interesting, is that they really aren't using deaths for shock value. It's simply just to highlight that when you go out to battle, especially when you're fighting for a side that's clearly not going to win and is clearly underdeveloped, it's just a matter of when, not if it's going to happen. I think it's very concerning is the best way to put it, because I kind of feel like the way episode 11 will end, as then we wait for fall when the second course starts up, is probably going to leave us near speechless in some form of cliffhanger. I really feel like, given the way they're developing the story, given the way that, we're going off to fight this Legion base, that probably won't take 5 episodes. But even if it took 3, there's got to be something else that I think that's really going to, hook, line, and sinker us into really wanting to come back for more. And I don't know how brutal it's going to get, because even if, say, most of the 86 or all the 86 get killed, where does the story go from there? Does it switch to a style of storytelling where the Republic actually has to learn to fight again? Because that could be really interesting, but it's probably going to be more brutal than anything we've seen so far. It just feels like worlds are coming crashing down. There's one side which is ignorant and refuses to admit to the truth that in order for our survival, we need to support those that we consider less than human. And then you have the others who simply are enjoying the time they have. While it sucks that they have to go on a battlefield, they'd rather chill, have fun, eat the food they like, and have the relationships they like before it comes to a close. And honestly, whoever ends up making it as the last few, I feel like are really going to have a burden, because it's bad enough for Shin to have to literally put down every single person that he can so they don't end up like his brother. The fact that, so many have to really just continue to think everyone we know and love is dying before our eyes, and anyone who comes to our division will get the same fate, right? I thought it was heartbreaking enough, honestly a little sweet in its own way, that Shin had all of the little pieces of metal carved in their names of their units, but the fact that Lena's doing the exact same thing with sticky notes and drawing what she thinks they look like given how they've explained their looks, and the fact that she removes them and puts them in an individual box afterwards, it's great to see how much she is connected and how she's really putting a foot forward to try to treat them as human and to recognize that they deserve to be called by their names and that they deserve the compassion and everything like that. And I like how Shin's recognizing it, so when everyone else says, okay, good night, they log off, he's still there to talk with her because he recognizes something's wrong. And exactly like his brother, eat some sweets, have fun. And the romantic kind of tension that's brewing, I think it's definitely one-sided as of now, because Lena is definitely having feelings for Shin. Shin is too burdened to get roped into that at the time being, given he has voices in his head just making him want to have nightmares when he's awake. I still think it's a sweet addition, and I think makes her determination to help Shin a lot more understandable, because there is a form of connection brewing, at least for her, right? Incredible episode, depressing episode, and every time you look at the title of the following episode, it just makes it feel like it's getting worse. But this anime never misses. It gets more heartbreaking and depressing, but the quality only remains to increase by the weeks. Let me know your thoughts and feelings, and definitely those series down below, your favorite moment, and where do you think it's going to go with a title like that? If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, share your support, and hit that subscribe button if you happen new around here. So until next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.